sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and can even keep you from getting the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS. I am sure you've had this problem before. If not, it means you haven't been in sales more than about 3 days. Where somebody calls you and they're like, man, have I been waiting to talk to you? I'm ready to hire you. I'm ready to buy X, whatever it is you're selling. And they say, I've heard a lot about you, heard great things. I'm ready to go. Or they say, hey, we've talked in the past, but now I'm ready. And somehow, this time, we say, oh, okay, this is going to be easy. These people, they want in. I don't have to do that crazy qualify, disqualify stuff because these guys are already qualified. They're already in. They say they're ready to buy. And then when you talk to them or you figure out after you've sent them a proposal, after you have talked to them, after you started, I don't know, you probably never made a sale, but after you spend a bunch of time, you figure out, shit, these people aren't ready. They don't have the money. They're not willing to take the time to do whatever, or they're a total pain in the ass. Because sometimes when people come running to you and say, oh, all these great things, I heard so much about you, and I'm ready to do, let's go. Sometimes you've been run off from your competitor already. Sometimes the other competitor said, you ain't paid your bills, get the hell out of here, right? Or the competitor was rude or whatever because they didn't pay their bills or some other reason. Or they just don't understand what's all involved. What my contention is always that people don't know how to buy from you. Even if they buy stuff all the time, they don't know how to buy from you. They've been trained by crappy salespeople. The crappy salespeople who've been calling on them all along, all these years. Hell, maybe they were a crappy salesperson in their time. Those are the worst. They call, they just want information. Ready to go, send me some information. How much does it cost? How about put that in writing? And you figure out they're not the decision maker. They got no budget. They had no idea that it was going to cost $30,000 or $300,000 or $3 million. They remember when they talked to somebody 5 years ago and it was only $2,000. It's always a problem when a prospect comes to you and is very positive. They're ready to go. Let's do this now. I want you to assume that 100% of the time there's a problem. It's easier that way. And I want you to think, what did Walker tell me about this? I need to slow them down to find out exactly what's going on. Your job is to make them think. May have talked about this before, but we have to take people to second level thinking. First level thinking is a reaction. You ask them a question, they give you an answer. Why do you want this? Because of that. Because I want this to happen. Okay, there's a reaction. But what I want you to think about then is, wonder why they think that. Wonder why that's important. And so you ask a question like, and when you say that'll make this happen, why is that a big deal to you right now? Ask another question to make sure they understand. And either they'll have to turn around and say, because if it doesn't, I've got major trouble. Or they go, well, I don't really know, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. All change is hard. It's hard. People don't like to do it. When they're coming to buy something, they're getting ready to make a change or not. They're calling to get information. I want you to remember that a buyer has to make two choices before they buy something. Number one, am I going to do anything? And number two, am I going to do that, or who am I going to do that with? Number one, am I going to do anything? And number two, who am I going to do that with? I just went and found a truck for my son. We've been looking for 6 months. So I made a commitment 6 months ago that we were going to buy a truck. But I've never committed of who I was going to do it with. We've talked to, I don't know how many freaking dealerships about finding us a vehicle. But I don't care about any one of them. Just wanted the one that could bring me a truck. Don't care. There could have been a different circumstance where I cared, where there was something in it, where there's a level of trust or relationship or something that said, I'm just going to work with these folks, but there wasn't anything there. They gave me no reason to have that. We'll buy from the one that finds us what we're looking for. Now, if I'm a sales guy and I knew that situation, I wouldn't spend much time with me. If I knew that my prospect was just waiting for the right person to bring me something, I don't care who it is, there's no difference. I mean, unless something fell in my lap, I wouldn't waste any damn time with that guy. How many times do you waste time with that guy? How often are you talking to somebody that says, yeah, just call me if you find something, or send me a proposal. We're looking around. We're talking to a bunch of different people. I want you to wonder, why are they talking to a bunch of different people? And what in the world would make them pick one? What is it? What are they looking for? What are they missing that they would need to go talk to 4 or 5, hell, 3 people? By the way, who made up that rule? You got to talk to 3. I got to get 3 quotes. Who the hell made up that rule? Why does that? It just makes sense. Why? Keep somebody honest. Well, if you don't think they're honest, why the hell would you buy something from them in the first place? I want you to believe, I want you to know that in sales, it takes each party to trust each other. You got to trust each other. They got to trust you that you're going to do the right thing. And you got to trust them that they're going to do the right thing. They're going to do what they say. They're going to pay you. They're going to do it in the time frame which they said they're going to do that. So I want you to be kind. We talked about this, nice versus kind, right? Kind is doing the right thing on behalf of somebody. And nice is doing what somebody else wants you to do. Nice, as we've talked about, is not telling somebody they got spinach in their teeth. Kind is telling them they got spinach in their teeth. So sometimes it's kind to say, hey, look, I appreciate the call. I'd love to talk to you. We can help you. If we're the right fit, I'd love to help you. But before we do that, can I ask you a couple of questions to make sure I'm not wasting your time? Let's go over that again. Hey, listen, thanks for the call. I appreciate you reaching out. Love to be able to help you. But the last thing in the world I want to do is waste your time. I don't know that we're going to be the right fit. Do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions? Make sure I'm not wasting your time. There's another thing in there I want to hit on again is I want you to ban the words my time from your vocabulary. Don't ever say my time. Don't ever say I don't want to waste my time. Don't ever say I don't want to waste your or my time. When you want to say I don't want to waste my time, I want you instead to say I don't want to waste your time. If ever you say I don't want to waste my time or don't want to waste your or my time, you sound like a jackass. Don't do that. I don't want to waste your time. So say, look, I don't want to waste your time. Can I ask you a couple of questions and figure out if we're going to even be the right fit? How'd you happen to come to us today? How'd you hear about us? What were you hoping I could do? Why that? Right? Dig in a little bit. Right? Why do you need that now? What happens if you can't get that now? We're looking for is, can we figure out what is the problem they're trying to solve? What's the problem they're trying to solve? Because if they're running from another company, the problem they're trying to solve is I need to find another fool who will put me on credit for a while. Got to find the problem. And then we got to find, is that problem compelling enough? Are there personal compelling reasons? Is it pain? Because without pain, everything's about price. Without a personal compelling reason, where they need to make a change, it's just about price. And maybe that's your business model to win the price game. It's never been mine. I don't want it to be mine. I'd rather be, as I am now, the most expensive option for people. If somebody says to me, I can get this cheaper somewhere else, I'll say, awesome. Why are you still talking to me? Sounds like a great deal. If I were you, I'd take it. I don't mean that to be an arrogant thing. It's just true. If price is that important, I'm not going to be the right fit. I don't want you to be either, unless that's your business model. You may ask a question like, hey, if you knew I was the most expensive in the marketplace, and people came to me all the time to want to work with me, knowing that I'm the most expensive, and then they do hire me and they do pay me, knowing they get the same thing cheaper somewhere else, why do you think they do that? Ask that question of them. Why do you think somebody would pay me a lot of money when they can get it cheaper somewhere else? Why would that happen? You can get a lot cheaper sales training, a lot of other places. Probably get some motivation thrown in there with it. Anybody knows you won't get that shit from me. Slow your prospect down. Find out what's the real reason that they're calling you. Why do they leave the old place? Why do they think they need this now? How important is it to get it right? And then, is this somebody you want to work with? If you have just a transaction, maybe it's just a sale, right? Just buying a thing. Probably less worried about their character as long as they pay their bills. But if it's a longer term relationship, you want to figure out who it is you're doing business with, who you're working with. Are these the kind of people I want to work with? Is this going to be fun, or at least not hell? Can't pay me enough to go through hell again. I'm Walker McKay with No BS Sales. We are starting programs, getting a lot of action, a lot of phone calls now from people that are trying to get things right before the end of the year, get their foot in the door, get things rolling so that first quarter isn't a disaster like it is often. If that's something you want to talk to me about, we have different programs for individuals and for companies, for founders. Getting several new ones started now. Call me, 803-917-2817. Huge favor to me if you would also rate and review this podcast. Give me the stars. Those are great. But the words you write down, Apple promotes the podcast, promotes it more, the more reviews that I have. So help a brother out. Thank you. Y'all keep moving. Thanks for checking in and listening. Refer this to somebody. Share it with somebody else who needs to hear it. Bye.
Thanks for listening to No BS Sales School podcast. If you haven't already, please take 1 minute to write a quick review for the show. It really does make a huge difference. Also, subscribe to the show and please forward this episode to somebody else who needs to hear it. As a bonus for listening, I'm going to give you access to a free mini course, 7 expensive sales mistakes you're making and what you can do about it. Go to www.7salesmistakes.com and get access to the free mini course. That's the number 7salesmistakes.com. Thanks again for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast.